Welcome back to my channel. This is my makeup look today. Keep watching if you want to see how I got this eye look. It's a little bit green and a little bit gold. I use this palette on the eyes. It's a Storybook Cosmetics Fairy Tale palette, the Robin Hood one. So I use some of these shades on the eyes. I have a candle going in the background. It's one of those crackly ones. I'm gonna do some green eyeshadow. It's kind of like the look I'm going for. And I'm gonna use this Storybook Cosmetics palette. There's a couple greens in here and I've never used this palette. So for primer on my face, I'm going to mix a couple of things. This one right here, it's byroe is the brand and it's a pear serum oil. I think I got this in a BoxyCharm a while back and it's just kind of hard to get out of the container. Okay, it's just like a little serum. I'm gonna put this on. I wish I had like an applicator or like a pump or something because it's quite tricky to get out of the bottle, but I'm gonna just put that like all over my face. On top of that, I'm going in with this other like face oil serum. This is the Wander Beauty Glow Ahead Illuminating Face Oil, and I love this stuff. I almost use up this whole thing. It's like it's pink and just like glowy, and it smells really good. It smells like roses sort of. And it is like a face oil. It doesn't feel like oily or nothing when I put it on my skin. For foundation, I'm using the Fenty Beauty foundation. It's the Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. I have the shade 105. It is too light for me. It's quite a pale shade. I'm gonna darken it up with like some contour and stuff later. So I'm going in with a cream contour stick. This is technically a concealer pen, but I got it in like a darker warm shade so that I can use it to contour with. It's by jour. It's the high coverage concealer pen. The shade that I have is called Amber. Or when I say contour, I mainly kind of like bronze. Like I'm gonna put it like right above where I would contour, more so where I would bronze. And blending it like up towards my cheeks, towards like my hairline also. On like up here near my hairline on like my forehead. This side doesn't really matter because my bangs are covering that side, but whatever. I'll do it also, and then kind of like down here and on this side as well, and blend it all out. Okay, I think that helps the color to match a little bit better. I also brought a little bit like underneath my chin here, and what you can do is if you don't want to like draw it on with a contour stick, it can be tricky to like blend out if you just draw it on. You can just take the stick and just dab it onto your brush and then put it on like that way, and it blends out way easier if you do it like that as opposed to putting it directly onto your face. For concealer underneath my eyes, I'm using the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. The shade I have is Light Sand. I'm putting it underneath my eyes, but I'm also taking it on top of my lids to like prep them for eyeshadow. And when I say on my lids, I'm talking about like the whole area underneath my eyebrow, basically just where I did not put foundation, because I don't really put foundation much on my like eyes. I'm gonna set my whole face with some loose setting powder. And for my eyes and like some of my face, I'm gonna use this little sponge that I have just to like put more powder, you know, and press it down into the skin so it always looks a little bit more like smooth when you press it into the skin with a puff as opposed to putting it on with like a brush. But it can also turn out cakier that way because it like builds up more product. So I usually just do it like on my eyes and like my forehead. I don't really do it on my whole face like this. I'll just take a brush, a big brush like this, and just put the powder on like below here. For blush, I'm using this one from Tarte, the Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush. The shade I have is Party. Mine looks weird because it like I dropped it and I had to re-put it back together. Kind of the tops of my cheeks blended into the bronzer that I have on a little bit, like back here. I'm not putting it onto my eyes at all or nothing, and I'm not doing like a huge amount, you know, just a touch of blush. Of course on like the chin and on like the nose a smidgen, maybe even the forehead too. For highlighter, I have this palette by Makeup Revolution. It's the Vintage Lace Highlighter Palette. It's got 4 different shades in it. I'm going to be using the second one, this one right here. It's quite a gold highlight. And I have like a little fluffy like highlighting brush that I'm going to be putting this on with. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for the eyes. This is the palette I'm using for my eyes. It's by Storybook Cosmetics. It's such a cute little palette. It's supposed to look like a little book, like a little fairy tale book. This is the Robin Hood palette. It's got these shades, a couple golds, a couple browns, and a couple greens. I'm gonna focus on the greens down here. I'm taking the shade Merry Menace, the matte green. I'm just gonna take a dab of this. The brush I'm using is kind of like a flat, denser sort of brush. And I'm gonna pat this onto my outer corner of my eye. A little pencil brush like this. I'm gonna drag the tail of this up towards the tail of my brow, not like drag it up to the brow, just towards it in that direction. I didn't put any more shadow on this brush yet. Dragging out the top of it also. I'm gonna take some more. You can see where I have a little shadow there already. That's what I'm trying to follow. That's what I'm trying to keep more but I don't want to put too much shadow on all at once or it kind of look like kind of weird, you know. Creating like a little wing shape, just gradually building it up, and then I want to darken it up a little bit. I'm taking this shadow like above my crease. Also, I have hooded eyes, so I usually have to take the shadow above my crease to where it doesn't cut the shadow off, you know. Taking the first brush again, I still have a little bit of shadow on it, so I'm going to put it on the lower lash line. Kind of just stamp it on there, blend it a little bit, connect it to that wing that I just made. I'm going to take a fluffy blending brush, and I'm going to blend out the top of this. When I close my eyes, a little bit patchy there, so I want to just blend that out on the top. And like, not the top of the wing, just like the top of this crease here. This is an angled liner brush. I'm taking the other shade in this palette. It's called Robin Hood, and it's a dark metallic green. Taking it on this brush, and I'm stamping it on my lower lash line. I want to take a more like pointier angled brush that's a little bit more flat and a little bit more, I can pinpoint it a little bit better, and take that original green shade again and stamp it right here to like darken up the bottom part of the wing and then drag it inwards a little bit. I'm going to grab a dense flat brush like this. Take the first shade in the palette. It's called Maid Marian. It's a very nice gold. Press it onto the rest of the lid, whole inner half that does not have the green. Go back to the highlighter palette, and I'm going to take the shade that I used for my face. Just use it on my finger and just press it into the center where those two shades meet. Okay, I added some setting spray and I filled in my brows. For mascara, I'm using this one. This is by Milani. It's the highly rated Lash Extensions mascara. I'm adding in some inner corner highlight. I'm going to use this one from Becca. It's the Vanilla Quartz highlighter. It's just a very, like, it's broken, so it's hard to show you, but it's like a very, very light gold, like a white gold, I'd say. I'm gonna take this on a little brush, put it in the inner corner. I'm gonna pop some underneath my eyebrows, also on the brow bone. Last, we're gonna do lips. I've got this Velvet Matte Lip Crown from Ulta. It's kind of just a cool, kind of dark purple. I'm gonna put a little bit of this on my lips. I'm not gonna fill them in with this, it's too dramatic. Just like almost lining them with it and then blending it out. And then over top of this, I'm gonna mix a couple of glosses. The first one I'm using is this one from Colourpop. It's the Luxe Gloss. This shade I have is Eclectic. It's just like a sheer kind of nude, almost a little bit peachy. I'm going with this other gloss by Colourpop. It's the So Glassy Lip Gloss. There's no shade on this packaging, which is kind of weird. It's like a sheer, almost like a light brown, I'd say. And here's the finished look. I knew I was gonna do a green eyeshadow, so I have some green jewelry on. I have this like necklace, it's like a really old Avon necklace, plus the matching ring, and I have a little green skirt on. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if you like how my makeup turned out, and if you want to see more videos like this. I post twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, and I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!